네, 안녕하세요. 24일차 얼른 읽어보고 하겠습니다. 23일 했고 24일차 여기까지네요. 네. 그러니까 라니님이 방송하시는 거 잘 들으면서 오늘 또 운전하고 왔습니다. 24일차 읽어볼게요. 네, 키라키라. 네. Day 24. 엄청 크게 나오네요. 잠시만요. Day 24. When we found our campsite, my cousins David and Danielle and I helped Uncle pitch the tents. Then he put us in charge of starting a fire. He went into the tent with Auntie. David said they were trying to make another baby. He said they did it all the time. I wasn't quite sure what he meant, but years ago when our parents were trying to make Sammy, Leanie had told me never go to in our parents' bedroom without knocking. She didn't tell me not to listen at the door. However, so I knew trying to make a baby was hard work that required a lot of effort and grunting. I turned my attention to starting the fire. It took me several minutes to keep the match from blowing out in the wind, and then the match almost burned me, so I flung it away. I guess when I flung it, it landed on a sleeping bag because the next thing I knew, David was shouting, "Fire!" David was a devil, like me. At least that's what Uncle liked to say. David seemed excited about the fire. He helped me through all of our drinking water, as well as all of our sodas on the sleeping bag, which sizzled and smoked. Finally, when it was charred but wet, we tried to hide it behind a tent since we didn't want Uncle to see it. Then we set our minds to starting a fire again. But in a moment, Danielle pointed at the tent. We saw smoke snaking from the bag. When we ran behind the tent, smoke billowed into our faces. We tossed mounds of dirt on that weird sleeping bag. Amber and Lynn sat behind the tent, probably telling secrets. They watched the whole event with mild disdain, but I thought I saw a certain yearning in Lynn's eyes, as if maybe she would rather be setting fire to sleeping bags than sticking her pinky out and telling secrets. When Uncle and Auntie finally emerged from the tent, Uncle sniffed the air and frowned. Smoke coiled through the air. David and I tried to look innocent. Uncle stamped on the dirt over the sleeping bag until finally the smoke stopped. He stared to get annoyed, but then Auntie said to him, "They're just children." Uncle needed to walk back to the truck and drive into town to get us water, sodas, and a sleeping bag. To his credit, he only yelled at us for a short time about burning the sleeping bag. When he got back from town, he started the fire, which seemed to cheer him up. Then he announced that he was going to shoot us some rabbits for dinner with a bow and arrow. David, Danielle, and I begged to come. Uncle said we could all watch from a distance if we wanted. He said he could shoot a rabbit from 30 yards. Auntie, holding Sammy, my cousins, and I followed Uncle, with Lean and Amber following us. They walked arms in arms and whispered the whole time. We came upon an opening. Uncle Kachihisa suddenly knelt and moved stealthily forward. Auntie's eyes glowed with pride. He put up his palm to still us, and we stopped. He'd apparently sighted a rabbit that I could not see anywhere. I surprised everyone, including myself, by shouting out, "But Bera Bera is half rabbit!" That disturbed Uncle's concentration. He turned to me and opened his mouth, but Auntie spoke first. She will be quiet next time. She pulled me to her. She will be quiet next time. She pulled me to her. I was embarrassed by my outburst. 네, 여기까지입니다. 네, 24일차 읽어봤습니다. 여러분, 바이바이, 뿅!